Namaste, Cancers and Cancer Risings, and welcome to the Soul Horoscope Super Scope. My name is Christopher Witecki. I'm a modern mystic, and I'm a soul biographer, and I practice what I call step astrology, which I believe that there are 11 steps to serious joy. Each of the 12 signs are one of the magical steps, and when you are a Cancer or a Cancer Rising, you are a Step 2. Step 2 is I feel. You're all about feeling. And 2 is the first time you feel anything, when you have you and someone else, right? So it's really kind of makes a lot of logical sense, step astrology. And where are the Step 2s this week? Well, I'll tell you, the Step 2s are working on trust and intimacy. And this is not an easy step. Now, the trust and intimacy step is actually step 0, all right? So the Step 2s are working on step 0, which means you're working on drawing a circle around the things that you care about and putting the things you love in the circle and the things you don't love outside the circle. That is basically step 0, creating a 0 around things. And the Step 2s are trying to feel better about their lives through the placement of where they draw circles, where they draw their boundaries. So this week is going to be a powerful week because something in your life, it could be your career, love, many different things, will pull you into the passionate aspects of having to maintain your personal boundaries. And what you're going to have to do is really draw circles around the parts of your life that you love the most, which means you might have to let go or not pay attention to the things you don't love so much. And this is hard for the Step 2s because Step 2s really have a hard time leaving anyone behind. One of the things about the 2 is that you really don't do 1 very well. And you can do 1, it has to be in the plurality of feeling 2, right? So what I'm saying is, this is a week of trust and transformation. This is a week of moving forward in your personal goals. And so to do that, you're going to have to trust your own feelings, and you're going to have to maybe pass some other people who are feeling alone. Not something Cancers or Cancer Risings want to do, is to walk past someone in need or walk past someone that's asking for help. That's the hard part. Now, what this does is basically transform a lot of what you're doing in your career. You have to be stronger in your career. You have to be stronger with yourself. You have to be there for yourself with your decisions and have to learn a new strength with your career as you're moving forward. So some of that is definitely coming up. Another part that I think is uber important is that you're really self-merciful with yourself when it comes to your beliefs or your ignorance. It's totally okay that you don't know. It's okay that you don't have the answers right now. It's okay that you fell into the wrong system of belief. That's all okay. And I think it's very important for you to be very self-merciful and nice to yourself when it comes to your beliefs and wisdom and experience and life purpose and all those types of belief things. Be very because if you're not being easy on yourself when it comes to beliefs, knowledge, and know-how, you're not going to be able to focus on what's really important to protect and what's really not important to protect. When you're an emotional creature like a Cancer or a Cancer Rising, you tend to get emotional about everything. So the way you are can control your life is to draw circles around what you love the most, not let yourself get emotional about the things you don't love. And that brings us to the full moon. The full moon will happen over Thursday and Friday, and that is going to be a tug of war between maybe money issues on the one hand and where you draw circles on the other. And maybe it could be self-esteem, not just money issues. It kind of depends on how you're manifesting, but it likely is money issues, and the full moon might be a big emotional tug of war between the two. Well, no matter what happens to you, Cancer and Cancer Risings, you definitely want to just focus on the things you love most, protect the parts of you that are most valuable, draw circles around the parts of you that would make the most money, put your time into things that return on your money. Do not allow your boundaries to protect things your heart doesn't really love. That is going to be, I think, the essence of struggling or making it through the full moon. There's one other piece I want to bring up, and this is going to bring up a new concept I'm bringing up here in astrology, or at least a new concept I'm bringing to the video table, and that is a Venus quotient. I believe every soul has a Venus quotient. This is your quotient for loving on Earth, and it's actually based on the placement of your Venus when you were born. So everyone's Venus was somewhere in the sky. So if you are a Cancer, you might have your Venus in Cancer. You have to look this up. But if you aren't a Cancer, you might still have your Venus in Cancer, and you would be what I call a 2VQ. So you operate from the 2, your Venus operates from the 2. And so the 2VQs and the Cancers, either way, are working on marriage and partnership in a big way this week. In fact, marriage and partnership might be what throws the 2VQs off their balance through the particular week, because this is an area that you've been pushing and working on for a long time. This is an area that went backwards for a long time. And so the two VQs are, when it comes to drawing circles around what's important, I would say in marriage and partnership or long-term business partnership, two VQs or Cancers need to really be very, very clear and concise about what their personal limits are. Okay, so this is not a time to step backwards in time or to go down an old path again with somebody. This is a time where you want security, you want to feel solid, you want a home, family foundation that doesn't get rocked. If you want all those things, then when it comes to personal long-term relationships, you definitely, two VQs and Cancers, need to be very, very clear on where your boundaries are, because that is where your capacity for all love is. So literally, if you don't get it right in partnerships, you're going to have problems in career, is my opinion. So if you don't know what your VQ is, you know what, and you're a lady, come on down to our new Facebook group for ladies. It's called GA Venus, and it's at gavenus.me. And if you're not a lady and you still want to connect and learn stuff about your VQ, well, you still can. We're not going to leave you out in the dark, but you got to come to soulmart.me. In fact, at soulmart.me, this is where you can pick up anything extra on me, including my shows. And like I just said with the VQ, once you find your VQ, you can watch the Soul Horoscope or Super Scope that corresponds to your VQ, and you can find how your love life will be this week too, because I believe our love life is ruled by Venus. The last thing I'll say is the Megascope. I have done a full month report on the entire month of February. That includes Valentine's Day, that includes the week in Pisces, which is going to be a little crazy, and of course Mercury is retrograde right now. And if you want to get ahead on the next 3 weeks, come on down to soulmart.me. It's just $11.11 and it keeps me on the air. All right, my crabs, that's all I have for the week. And now the two VQs. Hope to see the ladies at gavenus.me, and I'll see all of you in 7 days with more. Until then, live, love, be.